You're chasing the wrong thing and calling it happiness. Around 350 BC in ancient Greece, Aristotle asked a simple question that nobody could answer properly. What makes a life truly happy? Not what makes you feel good for a moment. Not what brings temporary pleasure. What makes a human life actually worth living? Everyone had opinions. Wealth, fame, power, pleasure, success. Aristotle listened to all of it and said they're confusing happiness with something else. They're chasing feelings instead of fulfillment. And there's a massive difference. Most people still don't understand this. In ancient Athens, philosophers competed to define the good life. Hedonists said maximize pleasure and minimize pain. Cynics said reject material things and live simply. Stoics said control your emotions and accept fate. Everyone had a system. Everyone promised happiness if you just followed their path. Aristotle watched people try all of them and still end up miserable, because they were all missing the same thing. They treated happiness like a destination, a state you reach, a feeling you maintain. That's not what happiness is. Today, you make the same mistake. You think happiness is getting the promotion, finding the relationship, reaching the goal, having the experience. So you chase it constantly. And the moment you get what you want, you feel good briefly. Then you're back to chasing. Because what you're calling happiness isn't happiness at all. It's pleasure, it's satisfaction, it's achievement. Those are fine, but they're not what Aristotle meant by happiness. So what did he see that we keep missing? Aristotle used the word eudaimonia. It's usually translated as happiness, but that translation is terrible. Eudaimonia doesn't mean feeling happy. It means living well, flourishing, actualizing your potential as a human being. It's not about what you feel, it's about what you're becoming. You can feel miserable and still be experiencing eudaimonia if you're growing, developing, moving toward excellence. You can feel pleasure constantly and have zero eudaimonia if you're wasting your potential. Most people hear this and reject it immediately. They want happiness to mean feeling good, because feeling good is simple, measurable. You either feel good or you don't. But Aristotle says that's exactly the problem. If happiness is just feeling good, then the person who spends their life getting drunk and watching TV is just as happy as the person who builds something meaningful. That's obviously wrong. One life is wasted. The other isn't. The difference isn't feelings. The difference is what you're actually doing with your existence. Watch how Aristotle builds this. He asks what makes humans unique. What distinguishes us from animals and plants? Not the capacity to feel pleasure. Animals feel pleasure, not survival instincts. Plants have those. What's uniquely human is reason, the ability to think, plan, choose, develop virtue, pursue excellence. So happiness for a human being must involve using those uniquely human capacities, not just existing, not just feeling good, actually becoming what you're capable of becoming. This is why he says happiness isn't a state, it's an activity. Eudaimonia is a verb, not a noun. You can't possess it or achieve it permanently. You can only do it every day. By acting in accordance with virtue, by developing your character, by using your reason to make good choices, by becoming excellent at being human. That's the activity of eudaimonia, and it requires work, constant work. That's why most people avoid it and chase pleasure instead. Think about someone you know who seems genuinely happy, not someone who posts photos of fun experiences, not someone who's always smiling, someone whose life has weight and meaning, someone who's becoming something. Chances are they're not comfortable all the time. They're probably working hard at something, struggling with challenges, pushing themselves, but there's a deep satisfaction in their life that pleasure seekers never have. That's eudaimonia. That's what Aristotle is pointing to. Now think about someone who chases only pleasure and comfort, who avoids difficulty, who wants to feel good constantly. Are they happy in any meaningful sense? Or are they just distracted from emptiness? Aristotle would say they're living like an animal that happens to have a human brain, not actually using their humanity, just existing and seeking pleasure. That's not a happy life. That's a wasted life disguised as happiness. Here's what makes this difficult. Eudaimonia requires you to pursue excellence, to develop virtue, to become better than you are right now. That's uncomfortable. It means facing your flaws, admitting you're not as good as you could be, doing hard things that don't feel good in the moment. Most people would rather feel good now than become good eventually, so they chase pleasure and call it happiness. Then they wonder why nothing satisfies them for long. Aristotle breaks virtue into two types: moral virtue and intellectual virtue. Moral virtue is about character, being honest, courageous, generous, just, temperate, not perfectly, but consistently working to develop these qualities. Intellectual virtue is about wisdom, learning, thinking well, understanding deeply, making good judgments. Both require practice. Both develop over time. Both are necessary for eudaimonia. You can't shortcut either with money or luck or good feelings. This is what people don't want to hear. You can't buy eudaimonia. You can't stumble into it. You can't feel your way there. You have to become the kind of person who lives well. That takes years of consistent effort, making good choices daily, developing your character gradually, using your reason to guide your actions, pursuing excellence in whatever you do, not because it feels good, because it's what humans are designed to do. Right now, audit your life honestly. Are you pursuing eudaimonia or just chasing pleasure? Are you becoming better or just feeling better temporarily? Are you developing virtue or just accumulating experiences? Are you using your uniquely human capacities or just existing comfortably? Most people realize they're doing the second one and calling it happiness. Then they're confused why they feel empty despite having everything they thought they wanted. Someone gets the dream job, feels great for a week, then it's just their normal life and they're chasing the next thing. That's not eudaimonia. That's mistaking achievement for flourishing. Someone finds the perfect partner, feels amazing initially. Then the relationship becomes routine and they wonder if they picked wrong. That's not eudaimonia. That's mistaking romantic feelings for the activity of becoming excellent together. Or someone reaches a financial goal, brief satisfaction, then immediately raises the target and feels behind again. That's not eudaimonia. That's mistaking external success for internal development. All of these people are chasing feelings and outcomes. None of them are focused on what Aristotle says actually matters. Are you becoming more virtuous? Are you developing wisdom? Are you living in accordance with reason? Are you pursuing excellence? Here's the practice. Every day, ask yourself, did I become slightly better today? Not, did I feel good? Not, did I achieve something? Did I develop my character? Did I make choices aligned with virtue? Did I use my reason well? Did I pursue excellence in at least one area? If yes, you're on the path to eudaimonia. If no, you're just existing and chasing pleasure. Aristotle would say most modern people are profoundly unhappy and don't know it, because they've redefined happiness as pleasure and comfort. They feel good often. They have entertainment. They avoid suffering when possible, and they're empty. Because humans aren't designed to just feel good. We're designed to become good, to develop excellence, to use our reason, to live virtuously. When we don't do that, no amount of pleasure fills the void. This is why wealthy people are often miserable. Why famous people struggle. Why successful people feel empty. They achieved all the external things, they can afford any pleasure. They get recognition and admiration, and it doesn't satisfy. Because none of that is eudaimonia. None of that is actually flourishing. They're still not becoming what they're capable of becoming. They're still not developing virtue. They're still not living in accordance with reason. You can be poor and experience eudaimonia if you're becoming virtuous. You can fail at external goals and still flourish if you're developing excellence. You can face difficulty and suffering and still be happy in Aristotle's sense if you're reusing those challenges to grow. Because eudaimonia isn't about circumstances. It's about what you're doing with your circumstances. Are you becoming better or just trying to feel better? Most people choose feeling better. It's easier, more immediate, more measurable. You can feel good right now with the right stimulation. Becoming good takes years of work with no guarantee of feeling better along the way. So people optimize for feelings and wonder why their life lacks meaning. Aristotle would say, you're asking the wrong question. Don't ask how to feel happy. Ask how to live well, how to flourish, how to become excellent. The feelings follow or they don't, but at least your life will have been worth living. You're chasing the wrong thing, not because you're stupid, because the culture sold you a definition of happiness that's actually just pleasure and comfort. Real happiness is harder, slower, less flashy. It's the deep satisfaction of becoming what you're capable of becoming, of developing virtue over time, of using your reason to live well, of pursuing excellence in whatever you do. That's eudaimonia. That's what actually makes a human life happy. Stop chasing feelings. Start building character. Stop seeking comfort. Start pursuing excellence. Stop trying to feel happy. Start learning to live well. That's the path Aristotle mapped 2,300 years ago. It still works. We just keep ignoring it because it's harder than scrolling to the next dopamine hit. True happiness isn't what you think it is, and that's why you can't find it. Subscribe if this made you think.